All right, guys, welcome to Do the Top Podcast, a real estate podcast that teaches the regular people how to invest in real estate. I am your host, Hamed Lawal, and I am with my co host today, Ibrahim Ojerinde. We are really committed to making investing in real estate seamless as much as possible. As you all know, we've been doing it for five straight weeks now. And if you are looking to learn how to invest in real estate, you are at the right place. Like we always say every week, this is not a get rich quick scheme. You will have to put in the work, but we guarantee there will be good results at the end of the work. Ibrahim, how are you doing?
I'm very thrilled. Very happy to be here tonight. Guys, we want this to be an interactive session. So we would like to, we will appreciate you if you can drop your questions and concerns. We'll try to treat it, in the show. Um, this is going to be an interesting episode. We would like you guys to, watch it from the beginning to the end. Please share it with your friends, family, co-worker, your neighbors. This is something that will provide value to everyone. Ahmed, what do we have tonight?
Yeah, it is an interesting topic, a topic that really touches almost everybody, and it's really helpful in real estate investing. It is very, very underrated topic, but it is one of the most important topic, which is credit score. Uh, I know there's so many different way we can approach this, but I will want us to come from the basic, Ibrahim. If someone really wants to build a credit, or let's start with what is even a credit score and how a beginner can actually build a credit in the US.
That's a good question, and I'm sure everyone is interested to learn about credit. So, first of all, I want to say I am not a credit repair expert, but I do have a general knowledge about credit because I've been doing this since 2012, and I pretty much currently I do have more than 10 credit cards. My credit is great. I have a lot of experience in credit utilization and credit how to build credit. So tonight I want to share all the knowledge that I have about credit, which I'm very excited to do. So credit, what is credit? To go straight to the point, credit, it is the a way for the bank, a kind of a method for bank or lenders or creditors to be able to see how well you are doing, how you are able to maintain um, debt, how you are able to utilize debt. So, without credit score, it's like you getting fund from somebody, but that person cannot tell if you are doing it right or wrong. Now, there are different method of measuring it, and there are different tricks and tips that you can use to your advantage. But basically, what that credit system is all about is to see how you can maintain debt, how someone can trust you with resources, financial resources. So we have three credit bureaus, which is the normal. We have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Okay, there are orders for Dun and Bradstreet and everything for business, but we're not touching about business tonight. We just want to go the regular one here. Um, so what they do is when you try to get credit, you apply to that institution. Now the institution will check you out from those three bureaus. If you don't have any record, majority of them will not give you credit card. They will deny you. Now, here and there, you might find one that give you a trial just because they would rather prefer you to have zero credit than bad credit. But in most cases, they will deny you. How do you now establish credit if everybody's saying no? Okay, that's a good question. I know you guys will be interested to learn about that. The first thing I would recommend you to do is to get a secure credit card. It's still a credit card, but it is secure because it's your fund. You apply through like Altington Bank, Fifth Third Bank, Capital One, any financial institution that has secure credit card. You apply through them, and they check your, of course, your social, date of birth, address, age, and all that stuff. Then they will ask you to deposit. The last time I checked, it was $300. But of course, there might be a bank that will ask for 200 or even more. Okay, you deposit that money, and that money, it is your money, but it is a secure way for them to help you build your credit, because if you default on it, they are not losing anything because it is your money. Now, as a new person, we want to encourage you in this show. By the way, our job is to help you grow in credit, real estate, everything. So first thing we want to recommend is that you use it right by spending 30% or less of whatever the institution. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking about secure credit card now. So let's say you put down $300. Make sure you use 30% or less of $300. In this case, 30% is $60. You must spend less than $60 since all the total is, um, $300. You have to, is it 60? That's 90. I'm sorry. That's $90, right?
Okay.
30% of 300, that's $90. So you have to spend less than 30%. So if you spend less than 30%, let's say you want to buy something else again, you have to pay part of the money. Like if you want to buy something of $20, you have to pay $20 first before you buy anything else. Because when you spend more than 30%, the credit bureau would they will take part of your point. Let's say you are supposed to get 20 point at the end of the month. They will take 10 point or 15 point out of it. And at the end of the month, when you pay that money back, you only get the remaining 10 of 5 point, compared to another person who spent less than 30%, and at the end of the month he pays back, he or she will get more point than you.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much you have to pay on time. You have to make sure you spend less than 30%. You have to um, use it generously. They don't want to see you just because there are some people, they will have $300 and they'll spend like 280 at the spot, and they'll pay back the next day. Even though you pay back the next day, you already defaulted, because you not default in a wrong way, but you've already um, violated the 30% guideline. So it's still gonna going to affect your credit. You have to spend 30% or less, no matter what, if you really want your credit to grow, effectively. Like,
Exponentially.
yes, if you want it to grow very well, you have to spend less than 30%. Do you have
Yeah,
any?
let me quickly chime in at this
Thank
point.
you.
So basically, credit score is the way it's a persona way which every institute, I mean, not every institution, financial institution already build
Mhm.
about you. So
Sure.
it's pretty much a representation of your financial uh I will,
Credentials.
yeah, the your knowledge about how to manage money.
Hmm.
It's not who you are, but it's your representation with this institution. So that is what they will check to be able to determine if you are qualified to be trusted with their money
Yeah,
or
money.
not.
Hmm.
So that is basically what Ibrahim has explained to us.
Yes.
I know you touched a little bit about where I'm heading right now. However, I still want to, let us elaborate a little bit more
Sure.
on this. So now we already know what credit is. We know how to establish one.
Hmm.
Uh, how do we maintain credit?
Okay.
How do
That's a
how
good.
do we yeah how do we maintain it? Because now we establish it, but I mean, mismanagement comes in at this point. So how do we maintain it?
Yes. This is the toughest part because many people they know how to, like, okay, if it's secure credit card, they know how to apply and get the fund, or if it's a regular credit, they know how to apply as well and get the fund. Maintaining it or sustaining that credit to better, I mean, to take advantage of that, to help you grow financially or credit wise, that is the toughest part of this credit system. Now, first of all, you have to be disciplined, okay? Because even if they give you like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you still have to use it right, okay? The first thing I've mentioned that is that you want to spend less than 30%. That's the first thing, okay? Now, the second thing is that, let's say, let's be realistic. If I know that I need a lot of fund, maybe I'm into business, maybe I do, have large families and I need more fund, you have to make sure you apply, like tell them you want your credit limit to be increased. The reason why that is important is because when your credit history is increased, I mean, your credit utilization is increased, the limit. If you have 1,000 before, if they can increase it to 2,000, that increases your 30%.
Yep.
If it's
Yes.
2,000, they increase to 5,000, that also increases your 30%. Because if you and I have the same credit card, sorry, the same credit card, and my limit is 2,000, your limit is 4,000, your 30% is higher than my 30%. Even if I spend 1% more and you are still within 30% just because you have higher limit, they will penalize me than you, even though you spend more than I do. It doesn't, they don't discriminate on this. It's about the percentage. You have to use it right. Okay. So if you increase your limit, it helps you. Another thing you can do is try to get someone to help you, like add you to their credit. That just what that does is it gives you more room to spend a little more. At the same time, it gives you more point because you want to keep your point. You don't want it to, you want to get point from different angle, so as much as possible. Okay. Another thing is that you want to apply to another credit card. That is, if you have a sufficient credit to be to get finance, because the more cards you have, the more chances of getting more credit. However, I mentioned from the beginning, you have to be disciplined, because the more you have as well, the more trouble you may get to if you don't
Yep.
know how to use it. Okay.
Yep.
Another thing is that you want to make sure you keep your card open. This is another big problem that a lot of people don't know that. So, what people do is that they have a credit card today, they get another credit card, then they will, because one way or the other, that person paid off the first card, the initial one, and that person will terminate that credit line, which is bad because you want that history. You want that because the credit bureau, they measure your credibility by the year of when you establish your credit. The way you utilize your credit, which is less than 30%, make sure the balance is less than that. The age of your credit, okay? The How often do you pay back? Do you have any late payment? They look at, um, do you have any dispute or any collections, all that stuff. They add all together and generate a number. It's like an analysis of your, you know how you are taking care of your finances. Okay. So you don't want to cancel any card. You want to make sure, even if you don't want to, if it's there, zero balance is good. Do not cancel any card. So you, by keeping that, your old card, just because you don't need it, just keep it active. Make sure you pay your balance. Make sure at least you pay your statement balance, because whenever you have a late payment, it send a negative signal. to financial institutions, and you don't want that on your record, make sure um, you apply for another credit card if you are able to get one. The more cards you have, the better you can scale quicker, as long as you are disciplined with those cards. You don't just use it um, recklessly. Be responsible with your finances, and that will help you grow your credit.
Okay. Thank you for the information. A lot of this information is something that everybody needs to know. Unfortunately, the information is not out there like everybody talk about it because it's a personal issue.
Sure.
You know, it's a personal thing. So people get a little soft
Yeah.
and very fragile when this kind of topic comes up. But it's something that we really need to address because in real estate financing, credit do a lot of things. Like it can be magical when you have a good one, and it
Mhm.
can really cause a lot of drawbacks when
Yes.
you don't have the great one. So but there's solution to it. That is
Yes,
why we need
definitely.
to talk about it so that
Definitely.
we learn from mistake or learn from other people's mistakes so we don't make that mistake.
Mhm.
When I started building my credits, I know nothing about 30% rule.
Yeah. Same.
I got 1,000 credit card from Bank of America and I spent it all. I don't know. So that is why we need to get into the room of talking about this a lot and getting comfortable about sharing this because a lot of people are victim of all these systems. We don't know, especially people that are immigrants that comes
Yeah.
here that
Yeah.
doesn't have a credit system where they are coming from. So
Sure.
it's really something that impacts what they can do, and it doesn't really portray who they are as a person.
Yeah.
But guess what? Who is going to tell the computer to reverse that? Because that is what they can see and how they are
That's
spending
what
the
is
money.
listed. Yeah.
So I know you touch a little bit as well on utilization,
Yeah.
but there are some institutions that I've seen before. I have this experience from
Sure.
my credit card. If you don't use credit card, let's say you pay it off and you just put it in your wardrobe, like, hey, let them keep reporting so that I can have a great credit. There are some institutions that will close that card down for
Oh,
non-use.
yeah.
What do you advise on in such scenario?
Yeah. I actually will not recommend you just keeping your wardrobe without using it, because you want that card to be active. Like, you don't have to spend tons of money. You can just buy gas, just buy candy or anything that you know that it's within your power to pay it back. You don't want to, of course, we don't want you to buy something crazy that you can't. You know your wallet, you know what you have, you know what you can afford. But we want that card to be active. There are two different kind of credit. I'm talking about general here. We have revolving and non-revolving credit. Now, when it's non-revolving, when you pay everything off, automatically the credit will end. Like, for example, let's say you get a loan from a bank. They can actually put a loan in your card, like a credit line. If it's not revolving, let's say you get 5,000, they put it in the card. You use it. When you pay that 5,000, it's done. Sometimes it's not even in the card. It can be just a loan. You go to the bank, they give it to you. When you pay that 5,000, you're done. That one, there's nothing you can do. You just have to pay it off. Okay. But the one that is revolving in a credit card, we want to see that continuous activity, because those activity are the things that's gonna help your credit, because you want to see the credit bureau every month. They try to see, okay, who is going to report, hopefully the good report. And that's what we are teaching here. We don't want somebody to report you like, oh, you've not been paying your payment, you've not been taking care of a credit card, you spend too much. High utilization is pretty bad. If you have $1,000 on your credit card, even if I see this mistake, I'm going to repeat this again. People who have $1,000 on their credit card and they spend like 1,000, that exact money, or 900 and something dollars. In this example I'm giving, I know someone, as a matter of fact, that spent about 90% of the car that he has. And he told me he has the money, and what he's going to do is pay back in the next 2 days. He actually paid back, but what he didn't understand is that even though you have that money, the fact that you spend more than 30% at a sport, the credit bureau already flagged you. Like they flagged you that you're high risk. Look at it this way. How would they know you have the money when they don't have access to your debit card or debit account? All they see is that you spent $900 out of $1,000. And to in that case, it's like, I mean, nobody knows if you're gonna pay back. So it's a high risk, and if they have to note that and keep it on your record and watch and see if you're going to pay back. Now, even if you pay back, it still doesn't matter. At that point, you already violated that 30% rule. And the reason why they are doing that is because, let's say you have some kind of, ulterior motive, and you spend $900. The credit bureau, they didn't note anything, or they did not show any concern. You can go to another bank or another institution and get another credit card, do the same thing,
before the
and
30 days of reporting.
yeah, before the 30 days, and before they know it, or before the institution realize it, or those financial, banks or institution, you've already accrued a lot of debt.
Yep.
And so it's like your current, the credit that you are passing along to all this institution isn't accurate, because whenever they give you card, you spend too much than what they need, and you go to the next one, you spend way more than what they need. Before you know it, your credit is bad, but you've accrued a lot of debt that shouldn't have happened. It's like they are, without checking it, without monitoring that, creating that system. It's like people can easily just get money unnecessarily, or that they cannot handle, and it will become a problem of the, let's say the person cannot pay back, he or she have to file bankruptcy and others. So financial institution cannot, they cannot afford to take that risk. So that was why they developed that system where when you spend more than 30%, it flags you, so that if you go to another bank, the other bank will see it like, oh, this guy is a high risk, or this lady is a high risk person. He or she spent more than 30%. We better be careful to, if they plan to award 2,000 before, they might decide to decrease it to 600, 500, 400, depending on how bad is your, usage or your utilization. So that was why they developed that system, and it has been working because it helps them to recognize or determine who is a high risk user of, the credit card. So how do you get around this? How do you build a good credit empire? Is by spending less than 30%. Try to see if you can get more credit card on your name, and your goal is not to spend it recklessly. Your goal is to establish as many as possible credit um, institution that report, you know positively under your name. That way you have multiple line of credit
Credit.
report.
Mhm.
It shows that you are responsible. It shows that you know how to manage your finances. You don't want just one. I mean, if you have one good one, it's better than all bad five or six credits. So
Yep.
it's
Agree.
not just that the number, it's about using it right. But having multiple helps your credibility.
Ibrahim, before you move on, so now we've literally hit how to build or establish a credit,
Hmm.
how to maintain,
Hmm.
what's an ideal utilization should be for you
Hmm.
to maintain your high credit score.
Sure.
What if, let's say, okay, now I have all this money, it got to my head, I I went to shopping, and I see all this nice stuff, I already buy all these things, I can't
Yeah.
take them back.
Sure.
My utilization has gone up like to like
Yeah.
70-80%, and now they all reported on my credit, and now I'm around 550 credit score, I'm around 600 credit score, and even 620, So how can I bounce back from all these? How can I rebuild? I'm trying to, a lot of people have been in this hole already. So what would be your advice for rebuilding, great credit score? Is it even possible?
Yeah, it is very possible. If you, in the not so good scenario that you just painted, where your credit's already like 580 or 620, and first of all, you need to determine the problem. Now, I mean, you've give us an example, which is bad utilization. Okay, the first thing you want to do is to try to pay back. That's the easiest solution. Like that does not require you like you know begging the financial institution or writing letter or anything. Try to see how you can pay back this debt. That will be the first easy way to fix it. Okay. The second easy way is to look for someone that you trust, who trusted you, and that person can put you on his or her credit. Because now what you are trying to do is that you're getting negative on your side. However, you need a positive to be coming in as well. If that person is using his or her card very well, they'll be reporting to you and that person as well. Even though you have a negative on this side because you've overspent and everything, you are still paying back. You still want some positive to be coming in. That will kind of help to neutralize. It might not fix that problem at that point. Okay, but at least that would neutralize your bad credit or not so good credit history at that time. Now, another thing you want to do is to see how you can talk to. There are some banks where when they see you have a lot of credit issue, they will offer you to kind of like consolidate. Like they will try to get all those credit together and say, okay, we know you have 5,000 here, 3,000 there, this is that. Okay, when we put all together, maybe it's like 20 grand. We can give you a new credit card or a credit line that is 20,000. Then you be on a contract with them. You might have to be paying maybe $200, $300, but it's gonna be on one card instead of three, five cards.
Having multiple card, yeah.
Yes, because sometimes you have multiple and everybody is saying this is the limit, this is the limit, this is the limit, minimum payment rather. When you add all the minimum payment together, it might be more than what a single bank would offer you to do. And in that case, you might be able to pay that monthly payment. And as long as they are seeing that positive payment, even though you've spent more than 30%, the credit bureau they also consider it. Like they see that they want to see you that active consistent payment. So you'll be having this point gradually showing that, hey, this guy is doing well now, and hopefully the new guy or the new company will not say, oh, this guy has been, there's no late payment and everything on your record. They don't want that. So when you're trying to bounce back, you have to be consistent, determined, and very focused on the plan. Okay. Another way to do that is to look for like another kind of credit line. For example, where you don't have to get a debt, but like I think IPL, I think phone company, some of them still do it, but I cannot pinpoint which one is still doing it. Before, I know for sure AT&T used to do that. You can go to AT&T, get a phone, but make sure it's something, it's not too crazy, something cheap that you can pay back. Okay, I have to stress that. When the more you get that, the more you pay back every month, or get a line. You don't even have to get their phone. When you do AT&T, you have a line you pay every month. Okay, do a plan with them. You might pay the phone outright, but that you want that line because if it's a contract, if that company is reporting, they'll be reporting that you are paying, and that will help. You just want a lot of people to be saying something positive about you in a short summary. You want that positivity more than a negative. Okay. If you can do all that, that will help your credit. And of course, you have to be patient. That's another thing because it's easier to run a credit down than to rebuild it.
Yeah.
It might take you 2 years, it might take you a year, but consistency, determination will bring your credit score, will increase your credit score gradually. It
Hmm.
won't go so fast because the credit bureau will be careful, everybody, the institution will be careful, and everyone will try to see how you can bounce back. Can you do it, or you are just trying to trick them? Okay, so
Yeah,
you have.
good answers. I definitely learn a lot. I do have a follow up question though.
Sure.
So my follow up question is: I know you mentioned that if you can get a uh, card consolidation,
Hmm.
you approach a bank and they consolidate all your credit card into one.
Yeah.
So does that mean that all the other credit card are going to close, or they are still going to be open? And what I'm trying to get at is that will increase your
Hmm.
credit limit.
Hmm.
So that is a good thing. But I just want to know, does that mean that other card are going to close, or you can still leave them open?
That's a good question. So we want you to still leave them open. What you are trying to do is to pay them off, but they are still going to be active. In fact, I really appreciate that question because we need to stress it that we still want that credit history. But what you are trying to do is just to pay that debt. The fact that it's a revolving credit card, it will still be active unless if you call them and say, I want to cancel, and which we don't want you to do. We want you to keep them, but you just want to pay the debt so that you can only at this point you'll be facing just one credit card company instead of
Yeah,
facing three, five, or four.
yeah,
Okay. We want to keep them active, pay down the debt. And I think another thing I need to say that, I mean, some of our audience might be interested to learn is that to get a revolving credit, there are a lot of things that might like it might be a little complex because some, in fact, majority of the institution would like to see you have a kind of like maybe a 401k somewhere, a equity on your home, a something, a collateral, because they want to you already messed up on your credit card. So they want to see if we give this guy another huge debt to pay off his or her credit card, what are we going to get? Or if this guy default or if this lady default again, what is going to protect us? What are we looking at as a collateral? So if you have equity in your home, you might use that.
hmm,
Of course, you have to be careful. You have to make sure this is what you want to do. You have to think through it. If you have a partner or anyone who has interest in that equity, you have to discuss with them and see if it's something you guys want to do. Okay. Um, if you have 401k, anything that shows that, yeah, this, if anything should happen, the institution has something to look up to. That's what will help you to get that extra funding because you've demonstrated that you cannot handle your resources effectively or appropriately. So they would like to see a kind of guarantee that their interest is protected,
hmm.
basically. So
That's
it's tough to get that kind of credit line or funding to repair your credit. So you might also approach credit repair experts because sometimes they have to send a letter to all these creditors that you are owing at that moment, and in some cases they are able to get them to forgive you. um I don't want to talk about bankruptcy. That's like the last stage. Like it's like the end stage. If there's no way you can get out of this, that's the last stage. I don't want to really focus on that because I'm not a lawyer or anything. So, but that's the worst scenario. Like if there's no way to fix your credit, then you might be thinking of bankruptcy. Of course, consult your attorney and let them advise you on that. Um, Otherwise, you can bounce back if you follow
yeah.
the rules, be patient, um, try to be focused and determined, you can bounce back.
Yeah, I also agree with Ibrahim. Bankruptcy, just because we are talking about real estate here, we you want to run away from bankruptcy
Yeah.
as much as possible, because that means for the next 7 years, at least for the foreclosures that I've worked with,
Yeah.
for the next 7 years, you cannot get funding on
Yeah.
real estate side, as that is where my areas of expertise. So I know that for a fact.
Yes.
So you want to run away from bankruptcy, but yeah, you just have to sort for the solution.
Yes.
I always mention it. A lot of people are going to set their limitation on you, say no to your request, but that doesn't mean that thing is not doable.
Yes.
You just have to keep moving, keep rolling, asking more questions. And guess what? Someone within the realm that is telling you no is going to be the one providing you solution. Because they know the way you can get out of it. But like Ibrahim said, the beginning of everything, you need to be very disciplined. If you want
Yeah.
a turnaround, then you have to be disciplined, and
Yes.
that is it.
Yeah.
That is basically it. Getting into it is very easy.
Yeah.
Getting out, nobody is telling you it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
Generally, on this podcast, we don't preach anything that is going to be easy.
Sure.
We are telling you, if you do it diligently, it works.
Yeah.
But we don't say it's going to be easy. Nobody's
Okay.
telling you it's going to be easy. So basically, uh, repairing credit takes a lot of work,
Yeah.
because in the first place, recklessness gets us to the point of, you know, having a bad credit. So we need to be very disciplined to get out of it.
Yes.
So that is basically what Ibrahim is saying. And I just want to add, don't take no as an answer. If
Sure.
an institution turn your request down, that doesn't mean someone else will not do it. They might give you a condition that, you know, you have to fulfill this for us to do this. And just like he said, you have to, you know, maybe, okay, do you have a house? I mean, how much equity do you have in the house? Blah blah blah. Things like that. They might give you a condition to get you out of the hole, but who cares? Just get out, keep moving, keep rolling. So yeah, just like he said, bankruptcy, I will personally say it's out of the line. Don't do it, because we
Yes.
want you to invest in real estate,
Yes.
and that will set you back 7 years, like
Yes. Yes.
7 years. So
Yes.
it's really, really important. I don't think it's it's even an option in this
Yeah.
scenario.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
So really, Ibrahim, before I pass it back to you, I want to give you
Sure.
this question so you can treat it together.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Is it only through credit card someone can establish credit?
Not really, but that's the common and the most, I should say, the easiest way to start. Secure credit card will help because it's your phone. The bank will be happy, or the creditor will be happy to do that with you because they have nothing to lose. And the way you manage it, the way you show that you are credit worthy, will determine how much and when they will give you their own, like its own credit card. That at that point you don't need to put any fund there, because now they've trusted you. They believe you can handle the finance, and they'll send you the fund. And I will mention again, just spend less than 30%, pay your bills on time. um if you've spent 30% already, and you are still within the same month, and you want to buy something, if it's $70 worth of product, pay off $70 or more first before you buy another one. At least you can pay everything off, it's up to you, but if you don't have that much, pay that 70 before you buy another 70. If you can do that generously, your credit will go up faster. Do not close any credit card. Try to keep it as long as possible. Now, to go back to that question again, there are different ways, but like I said, for example, you can get an automobile, like a car. Of course, because you don't have any credit, nobody will give you a car, first of all. But maybe let's say you have a parent, friend, partner, you know, husband, wife, that can co-apply with you. They'll give you the car just because that person has good credit. And when you get that vehicle, as long as you are making your payment, you will be getting report, positive report from the credit bureaus. And those reports will be helping you, it'll be helping your credit history, your credit worthiness will be growing. So yes, it's not only credit card. You can use automobile. You can use telecommunication. Like AT&T or T-Mobile and all those. I'm not sure which one is still reporting positive one. I know for sure all of them will report negative if you default or anything. But before
That's for sure.
AT&T used to AT&T used to report positive, but I don't know now. I'm not sure because they are not required by the law to do that. But automobile, real estate, um, regular loans, they are required to do that. So they will report positive when you pay back. Um, Pretty much those are the general and easy way to establish your credit.
Great. So really quickly, Ibrahim, I think we have hit all the four levels of credit, which is how to establish one, how to
Yes,
maintain it, what the utilization should be,
yes.
and if you are if you've established one and at the end of the day it's not great anymore, how you can rebuild. So we've really touched on all the fours. Coming
Yes.
back to real estate, really, Ibrahim.
Yeah.
So, when should a person that want to purchase real estate, maybe primary residence, maybe investments,
Yeah.
when should they be considering, contacting their real estate agent and
Mhm.
talking about their credits, making sure they have everything they need to go?
That's a great question, and it will interest you that if you want to buy a house, you just don't decide today and just go to a realtor today that you want to buy a house. And um, I mean, it's possible if you have been maybe building your credit accidentally or just a coincidence, like you are doing it right and everything. But what I would recommend is that when you want to buy a house 6 months, a year before, it is a good idea to approach a professional. In this case, it doesn't have to be a real estate agent, to be honest, because you might decide to just go for investment property and you can talk to an investor because an investor can get you property on or off market depending on how connected, how knowledgeable, how established is that investor. Okay, the only time you have to make it a must or like if you want to buy on market and you want it to be like listed on the MLS, like you want everything to be like, then you might want to approach a real estate agent, but you don't necessarily have to do that, you know, because if you are going through investment, an investor can get you off market the way you're going to have a lot of equity. In fact, that is a way to scale up faster. Now, when you approach them, I recommend a year or 6 months before that. Okay, I want to buy a house. I've been saving. Of course, maybe I don't have it, maybe at that point I don't have all the money, but at least I want to prepare because I have planned to buy next year or I have planned to buy in the next 6 months. What do I need to do? That person will, just give you a quick or just general assessment like, okay, what do you have so amount, where do you want to buy, what is your credit score, just general assessment. And that person will be able to determine if it's a real estate investor or agent that, okay, you are ready or not. If you are not ready, he or she will be able to guide you and tell you, okay, you need so credit, you need funding. If it's not, if you already have that credit and if it's funding, if you it will interest you that that investor may tell you, well, actually you already have enough, in fact, or you don't even need up to that. So it really depends on how you see how you utilize resources, and in this case how you leverage on people around you, people that have this knowledge. Call them, try to talk to them before you even before that time comes. If it's 6 months, 3 months, or even if you want to buy next month, next week, it's okay. We are not opposing that, but it's better to approach an investor before before you do um the transaction, 6 months or a year before. That way you better position yourself in the right, you know in the right position before you get the deal done. Ahmed. Ahmed, it looks like we have some technical issue here. Ahmed, are you there? Ahmed. So, guys, as I was saying, it looks like we have some technical issue there.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, guys, yeah, approach an expert 6 months or a year before. Of course, if you can't wait, if you already had, set up a plan and you feel like you are ready, you can approach the expert anytime. We recommend you approach them in advance. That way, they guide you how and when to acquire those property, the investment property.
100%, 100%. So I literally always advise people to, start preparing
Yes.
early. Like I've been before the first time. That's when I got to realize like I need to work on my credit. I need to work on some
Yes.
other stuff. Like all this language are going to be strange to you if you haven't prepared very well. But
Yes.
if you have consulted the right people, the professionals, they will have explained to you what you need to do, where you need to be. And if you are ready, guess what they're going to do? They will be like, you know what? You're ready right now. Maybe we should start now. If the market
Yes.
needs to cool off before you do, they know what is going on out there. Like I explained last week, this markets might be distressed at the time you try to approach them.
Yes.
A
Yes.
good professional real estate experts will tell you what is going on in the market and advise you based on that.
Yes.
They advise you. You see, this to tell fine. So, can you hear me, Ibrahim?
Yes, it looks like we're having some technical issue here, but I can hear you now.
I think we already hit all the points that we need for today.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to, um, you know, what do people reach out to you for, Ibrahim? Let's say, do if can I reach out to you if I want to buy a house? Can I reach out to you if I want to invest in real estate? Can I reach out to you if I want to build my credit? What should people
Sure.
reach out to you for?
Yes, I do think that's a great question. I do have general knowledge about credit, utilization, and how to establish it. If you have, let's say you have a plan to, invest in real estate, and you currently know that your credit is not the where you want it to be, you can reach out to me. I can give you the general knowledge, the tips and tricks on how to, improve your credit and how to make it better. Um, Even if you are not trying to buy home, I like sharing knowledge, so it doesn't you don't really have to buy home to reach out to me. Like, you can just ask question randomly. Okay, you have this issue right now, how can I build my credit? I'm open to that. I will give you all the guidance as much as I can. Then hopefully that will help you to better your credit score and your credit history. I do sell homes. I do sell homes. I can help you buy home as well. I'm a realtor and also an investor. So depending on your need, as long as it's around the real estate, credit, real estate, they are all together. With good credit, you are almost guaranteed the better, financing. Like, because they check your credit, they check your income, they check your debt. I want to touch on this real quick. If you don't have full amount of money to pay down, like to buy a house in cash, a good credit will serve you better than having 20,000, 10,000. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying 20,000 is not money. I'm not saying 30,000 is not money. But let's say you want to buy a house of 250,000 and you only have 20, 30,000, okay, which is a great amount of money, okay? A bank or a financial institution will respect me if I have a credit score of 800 or more or 750 or more without any money than you that have 20,000, 18,000, 17,000, or even 25,000 with bad credit. Because it is possible for me to buy without any cash as long as if I have good credit. On the other side, if you have 20, 30,000, but your credit is terribly bad, you probably will not get funding. So, in a nutshell, credit is power, like in America. You have to have good credit.
I totally agree. I think the technical issue keep keep going.
Yes.
We already hit all our the steps that we talk about today. If you have any questions, going forward,
Yeah.
drop it in the comments or in our Facebook page, do the talk, in our YouTube page, do the talk, on Instagram, do the talk, even on Twitter, just drop the comment there. We will read it and answer your question as soon as possible. And also, this program happen every Friday at 8 p.m. I know we kind of late today. Things
Yeah.
happens,
Sorry.
and we are still committed to bringing this to you because we know that you are going to be waiting for us. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you. Any final word, Ibrahim, before we let our audience go?
Yes, I do apologize for this late video because we plan to do it every Friday 8 p.m. Sorry for the late video. We do apologize. Um, we want to say thank you for being with us. We want you to be consistent as much as possible. Share with your friends, share with your family. We appreciate your support. Um, Ahmed, in this case, we all know that our audience can benefit from a real estate agent as well as an investor. Okay, and we all know that everyone wants equity. Okay, it's a so in this um, market here, we all want sweat equity. We want to buy a house, and where after you buy it, you fix it, you are able to get sweat equity. You are able to refinance and cash out money. Everyone know the bar. At first I didn't want to mention that, but I just have to say it. The bar, though not everyone has practiced that, but everyone wants to get into it. And this is a way to kind of get them started on it. Like, so what do you think, or how can you help people to get this, get them started? Let's say they have some money in the bank or, all that stuff. I'm not telling you to really elaborate on that, but I'm just saying, like, can they reach out to you?
Yeah. Really quickly, I'm gonna answer this in two ways.
Okay,
So if you want to get involved, you have money or not, I can help you.
good,
Regardless of any do you have money or not, regardless of money, I can help you. If you want to get into real estate world, you want to
good,
start investing, buying rental property, whereby you make your money work for you.
good.
So that's one. The second one, real quickly, is if you don't want to get involved, but you have some cash stacked up.
Okay.
Cash can be in bank, it
Sure.
can be in IRA, it
Hmm.
can be in retirement 401k,
Yes.
it can be some money that you inherit from your family,
Yes.
you know. So if you have any form of cash stacked up somewhere you can tap into, it can be an equity in your house. You know,
Yes.
we know that the market has been trending upward for some years now. Some
Yes.
people buy houses 2016, 2018, 2019, that now by now they have more than 100,000 equity sitting in
Yes.
that house.
Yes.
You can leverage that equity to buy two, three, four property, and
Yes.
I can help you make that
Yes.
dream come true.
Yes.
So that is how much I can help. I can do so many other things, but just to be very quick about it. If you want to be a private money lender, just by using that money to invest with me, invest with
Yes.
us
Hmm.
to get a passive income, I can help. Reach out to me.
Good.
If you want just to get into the real estate game but you don't know where to start, either you have money or not, reach out to me. Then everybody's situation is going to be different.
Sure.
We just need to connect and start strategizing how you can go from where you are to owning one, two, three property. So yeah, people can reach out to me, even
Okay.
if it is just, hey, I want to ask this question. Reach out to
Okay.
me. I'm always open. My
That's
my Instagram is on there, official Ahmed Lawal. And if you connect to me, just send me a message there, then I'm gonna respond to you and we connect and we go from there. So yeah.
okay. That's good. That's good. All right. Thank you guys, and we really appreciate everyone tuning in. And today is still Friday, and next week Friday we'll be here. We'll be back 8 p.m. and we'll try to keep that time. We apologize for the late post or the late video. Um, until then, see ya next Friday. Ahmed.